deal. What was it about the Bruins that made you want to make this commitment?
I think I just want to start everything off too by thanking everyone, for my family, my agent here for giving me this opportunity, and obviously my old teammates and Anaheim as an organization. I've been there for 9 years, been 10 years with the organization to help me to get to this point in my career, and they've truly helped me a lot all these years, and the years we've been fighting to win the cup has been something that's meant a lot to me, and I'm super excited to be a Bruin. I want to thank Don Sweeney here and everyone to make this happen for me. It's something that I can only dream of, and super excited. And yeah, thanks everyone that's supporting me. And it's been some hectic days here for me, but I'm super excited to be a Bruin. And yeah, if you can ask your questions again, I just want to get that out there.
Yeah, what do you know about the Bruins, and why is this a good fit for you, do you think?
Like, we only play against them twice a year, but I've been in the league long enough now that I've played them a bunch of times. I feel like they've always had that kind of like grit to them. They play like a fun style of hockey, but still with that kind of winning mentality. And they've had some winners in that team, and playing against them, it's always been tough games. And I love those kind of games. It's always been fun hockey games playing against Boston, and the fans in the city, that speaks for itself, I think. So I'm just super excited to be part of all that. And I think, yeah, I'm ready to get it going.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Connor Ryan.
Hey, Hampus, welcome to Boston. Obviously, don't know where you slot into the lineup yet, whether it's with Charlie McAvoy or Brandon Carlo, but from maybe playing against them in the past, what do you know about those two players, and how do you think you maybe can complement them as a pairing?
No, I think they're both great players, and the whole team itself, there's some really good players on that squad. And I think I'm a guy that's always want to be a guy that's known for making guys better out there when I'm on the ice. And I think any guy I get to play with, I'm a guy that wants to be that kind of army Swiss knife that is fitting into any role that you can play anywhere, any minutes kind of thing. I think that's something that's always been my strength, and something that I value as a lot as a D-man, to be that two-way defenseman that you can put anywhere, any situation to help the team win some hockey games. And coming to a team like Boston, that's a bunch of winners and players that wants to win. I think it makes it even more excited to jump on board here.
We'll go next to Chris Ryan.
Hey, welcome to Boston. Echoing everybody else's sentiments there. Just, do you see yourself as being kind of a missing piece, perhaps, for this group, and that can put them over the top and winning a championship this year?
I think they already have a championship caliber team, and I think any team I come to is going to be a better team. And obviously, I can't speak exactly for the team and how they've been playing. It's not like I've been watching every little single game. I definitely think anywhere I go, I know I'm going to make a difference, and I'm super excited to come to Boston. I think it's a good fit for me, and it's going to be exciting to see how it's gonna go here end of the year, and the years coming and following up here. And I definitely think I'm gonna help the team be a better team today.
You could talk about the decision too for the 8-year contract extension, and what about Boston, this fit made you want to extend for that long?
For me, that was a tough decision. Like, it's not easy to kind of just go and extend your career that long in a place that you haven't maybe lived. But for me, I go a lot about like little like stomach feeling, and like just like the team itself is kind of like you guys been speaking about. It's a great team, and I think they always have, Boston as a city and as a team, as an organization, they always have that winning mindset. They find ways to get in the mix and compete, and that's something that I always want to be. I love playing in the playoffs. I've missed it the last few years here now. I was very fortunate my first couple of years in the league to always be in the run and be in long runs in the playoffs, and there's nothing more fun. And I can only imagine being in playoff run playing in Boston. I think it's going to be a lot to be done to get there, but I'm ready to go to battle with everyone in the organization.
Thanks.
We'll go next to Sofia Jurčević.
Hey, congratulations on your contract with the Bruins. Just wondering, in the off season, when players are signing, when they're free agents, often I've heard stories of the captain, Patrice Bergeron, kind of reaching out to the guys and talking to them about the team in the locker room. Not sure with trade deadline, it's probably very different, but were you able to speak with anyone? Do you know anyone on this team just to kind of get a feel for the room and the guys?
I wasn't able to speak, definitely not before. I wasn't able to speak to anyone. I knew Boston had been interesting a little bit in the past. So like, I guess in my head, I've been able to kind of like see myself there a little bit, but then I'm also, like you guys know it better than me with trade deadline and everything, you never know anything. You never know anything until you get the call. So I didn't really want to take anything for granted here. So I was just sitting and kind of maybe fingers crossed a little bit. And Patrice and Marchand called me actually after it was done, and seems like nice guys. I played against them. I respect them massively just playing against them, because I respect and love players that play with that kind of edge and that fighting mentality out there. And I also know Pasta a little bit, him and his girlfriend a little bit, because she's from Sweden, and obviously he's in Sweden quite a bit, so I met him a few times there. Super nice guy too as well. And Linus Ullmark, I've known through a few national gatherings here, so it's there's a few familiar faces, but I'm just ready to get in that locker room and play some hockey games.
We'll go next to Kevin Dupont.
A couple, if I could. Hampus, how soon will you make it to the team, and when do you expect to play?
So Monday wasn't available, I guess, to come play for the visa reasons and stuff. So I'm planning on coming back, flying maybe tomorrow morning or tomorrow to get to Boston on Monday, and then get ready for Thursday's game, hopefully.
Okay, my other one, I realize this wasn't traditional free agency, but I have a sense here that you were able to steer the trade to a degree, that because Boston isn't going to make this deal unless you've agreed to terms, essentially. So do you know how many other teams were in the mix, and were you essentially fielding offers?
Yeah, I know there's a lot of teams in the mix, and there were certain teams, obviously with the cap and stuff, it's harder to, there are a few teams that were in it to signing and stuff. So those were the ones I could control, right? Because those the one reaching out to that I can control if I wanted to be there for a long time or not. So I guess in that way I could control those things and kind of put it in. But the thing with Boston, because they've been asking for quite some time, so I know they're interesting. So it's like easy to progress in your head, and it's been funny. It's been like little things that's just been falling in place with Boston that just kind of like made it come to sense and feel like it's the right choice for me. And then I know obviously there was other teams that just wanted to trade for a push here in the playoffs. So it's a hectic times, and I'm not a guy that use Twitter, sit and read on Twitter and read too much on social media. So the only things I really get is from my agent, and from there, that's kind of what I heard. You guys probably know more what was going on and who was in the mix than me. So that's the little stuff that I heard, at least from my agent's part.
So in the end, do you know if other teams would have offered more money, or were they all around the same place?
I know I got offered more money in Anaheim, but it was a little less term, and I think it was going to be around the same in other places. I was going to say, for me, it's about the whole thing. For me, it's about coming somewhere competitive, and like obviously Boston is really showing who they think of me as a player and trust, and that's something that I can't thank them enough for, to be able to sign a long extension with an organization like Bruins. I think that's most NHL players' dreams. So it's huge thanks to Sweeney there and everyone to make that happen for me, and I'm super stoked and excited.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Go next to Julian Benbow.
Hi. Kind of on the same note, when did you kind of realize that after 9 years with the same franchise that it might have been time for a change for you? And then how do you kind of see this next chapter,
I think as a player, it's always hard when you're not winning. I was fortunate, like I said earlier, to come into a team that competed right from the start. I came into one of the best teams in the league when I was 19 years old, and get to play big minutes in that kind of team right away. And it was just like fairy tale of like the first couple of years in the league in a way. And then being around the league now for 9 years, I understand also how hard it is to get into the playoffs. It's not something that you used to do. Like, it's 82 games of this battle, and that's why I'm so impressed with Boston as an organization, how they always find ways in tough divisions and tough conference to always fight in somehow. And that's the kind of fighting mentality that I like to have myself and like to bring to the table. And that's why it's extra exciting to come to a team as Boston that kind of have that fighting edge to always try to get in and give yourself a chance to win something.
We'll take our final question from Mick Colagio.
Hey, Hampus. Swedish players are famous for having structure and being sound defensively. And you have a reputation as being a smooth 3-zone defenseman, all situations. Who's your model? I mean, is it as simple as saying that anybody in your generation is going to look up to Nick Lidstrom and say, I want to play like that? Were there other people that helped you form how you want to play?
I just want to add, you forgot to mention.
Were there other people besides Lidstrom who kind of like say, this is how I want to play the game?
Yeah, for sure. I just want to mention, you forgot to mention the blonde hair that we're all Swedes got going. That's something else.
Not everybody. What about Nick? What about the King Henrik? He's the exception, right?
He's too handsome. He doesn't need the blonde hair.
Okay.
No, I've so like when I was young, I wasn't, because the NHL, you play middle of the night, so you're not really able to catch so many games, and the most of the NHL hockey you would see would be like the highlights, and obviously that would be very favored Detroit because there were so many Swedes. So Lidstrom would be on there, I think, but I didn't see him enough to really like be able to sit there and just watch him as probably some other young kids can do over here when they can watch an NHL game live when you see all the best guys in the world. So one guy that comes from the team that I play from Sweden is Kenny Johnson. He played for the Islanders for about numbers of years, and he was a guy that I kind of look up to when I was in Sweden. He was actually my coach too when I was 17, and I played my first pro year there in Sweden. And he's a little more quiet guy, but great player, like super smart, calm with the puck. Like he's one guy that I've looked after a little bit. And then obviously Lidstrom, there's no Swedish defenseman that don't look up to him. And I think coming over here to Anaheim's organization, Niedermeyer was a guy that could come in every now and then and help you out and give you some advice. He's always been a guy that you ask him questions and you just feel like he gives you the perfect answer always. He's a guy that I also really look up to. But I think to answer your questions with an easier answer, I would say I try to look at all those guys and implant a little bit in my own game and make it my own style, because I never want to try to be someone else. I just want to look at the good stuff the other guys do and bring that into my game and shape it into my own version of myself.
Have you been exclusively a left side defenseman, being a left shot when you played in Anaheim, or did they move you over to the right as well?
And no, so I've in my NHL career, I played mostly left. I played right a few times when they've had young guys come up, and I've gone over to the right side because there's two lefties. But when I played my first pro year when I was 17, then I played right side with one of the veteran guys there on the team.
Last one, and thanks to the team for indulging me here. The 2 years that the NHL was affected by COVID, you played a short schedule. You didn't play all the games. This year you're playing the whole schedule. So are we to take that you're 100% healthy?
Yeah, no, my body feels great. It's I've the few injuries I had the last few years have been so unfortunate. So it's like it's been just unfortunate fall in the boards and a few cracked bones. They always heal up, but it's like those things you can't really do too much about. So body feels great. I'm ready to get going here.
Thanks a bunch, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.